What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your number one channel, Let's Be Real. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you get notified each and every single time I post another video. And again, thank y'all for following along, watching my videos. I appreciate all the feedback and love and support. So, today's episode, we're talking about two of my least favorite places in the world, and that's Harris County and State Jail. Uh, just hearing those two words, man, makes me want to keep myself in check. So we're gonna go down the line, and this part of my life is definitely something I'm not proud of. But again, the whole purpose of this channel was me opening up and letting y'all get to know me a little bit more better. So yeah, let's start with the first time I've been locked up or arrested. So the first time I was arrested, I was 18 years old, and me and my ex-girlfriend, right? Me and my girlfriend at the time, we had a very dysfunctional relationship, to say the least. And we were drinking one night. We got too drunk, and I don't know what I did, but I must have did something. But she started hitting me, and it ended up going outside the apartment. And in the scuffle, right, of me trying to get her off of me and everything, somebody saw the commotion and called the cops. So the cops showed up, and we both ended up getting arrested that night, and charged with fighting in public. Little misdemeanor charge, but so I spent the night in the city jail, and that was my first experience with getting arrested. After that, it just seemed like it became an ongoing thing. Every so often, I would do something stupid to get myself arrested. And you got to understand, at that time, from ages 18 and up, like those are my worst years. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I was a young alcoholic and a young dope fiend. And I say young dope fiend because, hey, look, I was doing dope fiend moves. I was stealing my girlfriend's money to go get powder. I was stealing her keys in the middle of the night to go run and get some powder. Walking in the streets and like, you know what I'm saying? Just, there was times I'd be 2, 3 in the morning, walking the streets trying to go get some powder. Like that's dope fiend move. So, hey, I'm gonna call it what it is, and I'm gonna be real. Skip down the road, when I was 21, I caught my first drug charge. And at that time, I had just got a car, right? And so I was wilding out, acting a fool in my new car, driving reckless, and So I went out to a cantina this one weekend, and my plan was to go to this one and then leave to go to another one, right? Well, my plans didn't work out the way they were supposed to, because when I was leaving the one cantina, I was reversing out the parking lot, and I didn't look. I didn't look down the road to see who was coming. So when I reversed out the main street, a cop was coming right behind me. So I didn't even get a block down the road, and he turned his lights on. And I was like, damn, man, I was riding extra dirty. I didn't have no license, no insurance. I was drunk, and I had powder on me. There was no way I wasn't going to jail that night. I was going to jail regardless. So, needless to say, I went to jail. And I went to the county that time. I was in there for like a week. And then they told me, okay, look, you can sign for this 2 years probation, and you could be out tomorrow. And this way, your felony won't stay on your record. You complete everything you're supposed to do, your felony will come off your record. Which, by the way, if you're somebody who you know you're gonna come out and act up, and you ain't gonna do the terms and conditions on that probation, do not even bother with it, man. Do not bother with it. I did it, and I learned from my mistake. I learned because you'll find out. But so I signed for the 2 years deferred probation. I was like, all right. When I came out, what did I do? I kept acting up, kept drinking, kept getting high. I did not care. The only difference was that I had to check in once a month for a drug test. So throughout that time, the 2 years, I just kept on partying, and I wasn't paying my fees, wasn't doing community service. So whenever the 2 years approached, they were like, "Hey, look, you still owe money. We're gonna extend you 6 more months." That's what they do. When you don't follow the rules, they keep extending it. So I was like, man, within the extensions, so with all the extensions, I think I got extended. I ultimately ended up doing 4 years. 4 years, and I was supposed to only have 2 years probation. Anyways, in the middle of those extensions, I had caught another charge, right? I had caught another misdemeanor, and they gave me another chance to get out, and they were like, okay, this time we're gonna put you on an ankle monitor. You're gonna be on probation still, but you're gonna have an ankle monitor with a curfew. And I was like, all right, whatever, that's cool. They released me. I was in there for like a month that time, I think. I came out with a freaking bracelet, black, big old black bracelet on my ankle, man. It looked like this freaking watch. It looked just like that, but on my ankle, I was walking around looking stupid. And man, I wanted to tear that thing off, eat like every day almost. Just, but hey, I could tell you some funny stories too about times when I had to rush home because I thought I wasn't gonna make the curfew. I was all paranoid, didn't want to go back to jail. But yeah, I was still out there living dirty. You know what I'm saying? Still doing my thing, still getting high, and but I did okay for a while. Um, and all this started when I first caught that charge, that first dope charge when I got pulled over. That was back in 2012. Now Skip, you know what I'm saying? I said I did 4 years ultimately. So in the middle of all this, um, my mom ended up passing away. Right, my mom ended up passing away in 2015. From that moment, I kind of just lost it. You know, I really just gave up. I had already been living bad. You know, I was already living reckless, but I really just, I at least I was trying. You know, on and off, I was trying to stay good, and I would fall off. But when my mom passed away, so I just snapped, and I really didn't care about anything no more. I had my daughter. You know, I was in a relationship. I had my wife at the time, but I just did not care about none of that no more. And I was just ready to go, ready to get locked up. And so I went out. I went out one day, decided to go get high, right? And I knew that night that I wasn't gonna make it home on time for the curfew. And like I said, I was already ready to go. So I was like, man, whatever. I'm gonna cut this thing off. Let's go. So I cut my ankle monitor off, and it was funny because it was funny kind of because I did it in a dramatic way. I cut it off, and I thought it had a GPS on it, so I like broke it. I threw it in the bayou, and whatever. If it did have a GPS, in my mind, I destroyed it, right? Which I don't know if they do or not. Anyway, so I knew the consequences in my mind. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't care. So the next day, my probation officer called me and she was like, "Hey, we see that you cut your ankle monitor off. Um, you know what's up?" And I kind of tried to explain myself and told her, look, my mom just passed away. I lost it. I had a breakdown. I couldn't handle it. I cut it off. It wasn't. It was just a reaction, and I don't know if I really thought that she was gonna understand me, but hey, they do not care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about none of that. They don't care. If they didn't, they wouldn't have cared if my mom passed away in my arms. Look, I cut my ankle monitor off. That's the only thing that they cared about. So she was like, "Well, look, you got a court date coming up." I was like, "All right." I already knew what time it was. I knew that when I went to court, I was gonna get locked up. So I mentally prepared myself. So when the court date came, I was already ready. That was the saddest drive though to that courthouse because I was in the back seat with my daughter, and she was just a baby at the time. She was a little bit over 1 years old, and I remember looking at her and kissing her and hugging her and telling her I loved her. And she didn't know, she didn't know that her daddy was about to get locked up and wasn't going to come back for 7 more months. And but I did. And well, now I didn't know exactly how long it was going to be, but I knew I wasn't going to come back in that car that day. So sure enough, when we went to the court, they called my name. Judge called my name. I went up there. She read my paperwork, and she said, "See the bailiff." So I went. I already knew. I already knew that was going to happen. So at that time, they gave me still another option to be back on probation, but they were gonna put me on some kind of special program. I was gonna basically still be locked up. It wasn't gonna be jail specifically, but it was some program. But I was still gonna be. It was a. I wasn't gonna be able to be home. I was like, nah. I'm ready to get off probation. I don't want this no more. And really, cause to me, probation feels like a setup. Unless you could stay on the straight and narrow. But to me, it's like you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like you're always, in between. So it really, I didn't. like that feeling. So I was like, nah, let's get it over with. I'm ready. So they offered me 7 months state jail. And I was like, all right. So I signed for the 7 months state jail. I got shipped off, went to Pam Lynchner. That was a whole nother experience for me because it wasn't close to home like Harris County was. I wasn't just right down the street from the house. And it was a lot bigger, you know what I'm saying? It's a big deal. It's a bigger situation than Harris County. And the upside, I guess, I had contact visits, there in Harris County you get to have window visits, but in state over there at Pat Meshner I had contact visits. But I don't know which is worse because I don't know which is harder. Not being able to touch your loved one or being able to touch your loved one and then having to see them walk away and leave after an hour. Either way is hard. Each and every single time that my daughter would come and my wife at the time would come bring my daughter, and it was hard to see them walk away and leave after an hour and not being able to go with them. And then especially the times when my daughter would cry, like, man, it was heartbreaking. And that's what people don't think about whenever you get locked up or do something stupid. You're not thinking about your little babies. You're not thinking about how it affects them. I wasn't. I wasn't thinking about it. Just I was just being selfish and saying that I didn't care and I was ready to get locked up. And but that 7 months was definitely hard just for that reason alone. Being so far away and without my baby and without my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? The worst feeling to me in the world is being locked up and having. I bet you anybody who's been locked up has had this thought. And hey, look, if you're out there, let me know. You know what I'm saying in the comments if you've had this thought before. But one of my biggest fears was that if somebody in my family were to pass away whenever I was locked up, and me not being able to be there for the funeral when somebody very close to me died, passed away. And I feel bad for people who that does happen to, and you can't go visit them, you can't go to the funeral. They say that you can put in a request, but I don't think anybody hardly ever gets to go to a funeral, really. But that was one of my biggest fears while being locked up. So after the 7 months, I was released. This was now 2016. Um, and I did good, you know what I'm saying? Came out, didn't I wasn't on no probation. I was clean. I was like, man, all right, cool. Like I don't got nothing no more. And I did pretty good for a little while until I decided to still mess up again. I caught another case, and this will be my last time ever being arrested. But I caught another case. I was facing felony charges. I was like, damn, man. I remember when I got arrested, and then I went to the county. Man, no, I didn't even make it to the county because I didn't make it all the way to the county because I got bonded out. But I remember feeling, because at that time I had already been dealing with anxiety, so man, I could not deal with it that last time. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. I couldn't breathe. I was literally, that's the only time that I ever begged to be bonded out. I was literally like, man, y'all gotta get me out of here. Please bond me out. And hey, look, cause I feel like I was fixing to die in there. And uh, I did, right? They bonded me out, and I ended up fighting that case from the outside, and I beat it. I beat the case and didn't end up facing no time. And just by God's, just I'm thankful to God that I beat that case and I didn't have to face that time because I knew, in my heart, I knew that I did not want that lifestyle. When I got released from paramedic, I had already put it in my mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, this is not a lifestyle that I want. I don't want to be an habitual, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to make this a habit to keep coming back. A lot of guys, they catch their felony, go to TDC, whatever, stay jail, and they keep on doing the same thing. And, eventually end up catching a big charge and end up doing real time. And, that's something that I didn't want. I didn't want that for myself. And so that last time I got arrested and beat that case, I made a decision mentally within myself. I said, man, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to go back to jail because I cannot do it. This is not what I want for myself. And I stuck with it. For the most part, I stuck with it. I haven't been arrested since then. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and I've made all the right decisions because I haven't. Since then, because I was 2016, yeah, or 2017, but I've still done stupid, risky things since then. But hey, look, by the grace of God, like I said, I haven't been arrested again, and I pray that I never will. I hope and pray that I never have to see the inside of the jail again. And it definitely affects you. It makes it harder for you for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about, hey, look, it's gonna be harder for me to get a nice apartment one day because a lot of nice apartment complexes don't want felons. It's gonna be hard for me to get a good job. A lot of jobs don't accept felons. They do that background check on you. I don't know how many times people have done a background check on me and just like not call me back. And I've been blessed to have good jobs along the way, but I ain't gonna lie, it was a struggle when I first got out. I was looking for work and could not find no work because I was fresh out, had a felony, nobody wanted to hire me. And it definitely makes a difference on your life. And you don't want to have that tagged on you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's impossible because plenty of felons make, you know what I'm saying, they make it and they do something, but it's all up to you, really, how hard you're willing to push. Because if you just say, man, forget it, I'm a felon, I ain't never gonna amount to nothing, this is me, this is who I am, then hey, that's gonna be who you are, and you finna, you know what I'm saying? Then that's the lifestyle you're gonna choose. But if you decide, hey, look, that's not what I want, I'm gonna make a difference, and I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing till I get that job that I want, till I get where I need to be. Then you're gonna make it. And you're gonna be all right, and you're gonna, not, you know what I'm saying? You'll stay out. Um, but yeah, man, my advice to anybody who's out there living reckless: don't do it. It ain't worth it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of your life. God gave us one life to live. He didn't give it to us so we can go and do something stupid to be locked up for the rest of our life. That's my opinion on it. Definitely keep that in mind and keep your children, your family in mind. If you got a wife, you got a baby, you got kids, think of them before you do something stupid, man. Um, but yeah, hey, look, let me know if you like this video. Make sure you leave it in the comments. Let me know if you want to know some details because I just told you about the main points. But hey, if y'all want to hear about details, let me know. But yeah, subscribe to this channel, man. Y'all stay following with me, follow along. And like I said, make sure to push that notification bell. And remember, if you ain't being real, you being fake. So y'all stay real.